Small business is the backbone of our communities. It's a good feeling to know that one loan to a business benefits everyone in the community. Hi, this is Dan Knox, commercial banker with People's National Bank in Mount Vernon. We pride ourselves on providing quality products and services to meet the banking needs for our people that work and live right here. Since 1909, our focus continues to be on you, our customers. People's National Bank. It's our people that make the difference. Member FDIC.
Welcome back to another episode of the Dorm Project. Tonight we have a very special guest, Noah Reed.
Howdy.
So Noah, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm 18. I'm going to be a senior next year. I am currently an E2 in the Army National Guard, awaiting my ship date for Sunday. I'm going to Fort Benning. I'm infantry, and I'm just cool, and I'm just doing my thing.
Right on.
So you have a very interesting story, like of kind of like not necessarily redemption, but a lot of overcoming and like, you know, you faced adversity.
Yeah, it's actually kind of like an in-your-face story, I guess you could say. Like, hey, you told me I couldn't, so now I'm gonna do it.
Yeah. That's how I am. Like, if someone's like, hey, you can't do this, I'm gonna be like,
well,
yeah,
watch
I'm
me.
gonna prove you wrong. Yep, watch me.
Yeah.
So because you've struggled with a lot, and we'll get into your story, I just want to ask a question beforehand.
Okay.
And so there's a stigma that certain people, mostly pessimistic people, they like thoroughly believe that the world is out to get them. Do you think that like the world is just out to get some people and not out to get some people, or do you think there's something else, like just kind of testing us, or just bad stuff happens?
You know, that's actually an interesting question. I'm not going to bring it up fully, but what's going on with the news right now? Like, we all know exactly a certain topic that's going on with the news.
Right.
Yes, I do think the world is out to get some people, and some people have it really hard. But also at the same time, yes, bad stuff just does happen. So, yeah, that's kind of my take on it. So.
Now, can you would you be fine with sharing your story?
Absolutely, yeah. Where do you want me to start?
Start from the beginning.
Start right from the beginning.
Right from the
beginning.
So I was born
with. Okay, yeah. I was born. No.
I don't know about that far back, but
I'm actually going to start last July with what most of you probably know already. Last July, I was at my grandparents here in Harrisburg, where I live now, and I lived in Mount Vernon with you guys. And I went to school with you guys.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, we're just sitting there, and it's about 2 hours before I'm supposed to go back to Mount Vernon to go to my house. And my grandma gets a call, and I'm on the other side of the room, and I hear the house is on fire. I was like, whoa. So I'm like freaking out. I'm like, we need to leave, because I have a dog, I have a car. I mean, like, my family's there.
Right.
And so we get from Harrisburg to Mount Vernon in like 35 minutes.
Jeez.
Whew.
Yeah, we were.
And that's like an hour and a half drive, though, isn't it? Like,
Yeah.
originally.
Yeah, we were passing people on double yellow. Like,
wow.
Yeah, we were breaking the law. And so we get there, and and I see fire trucks outside of my house, and I see black soot on the siding of my house. And it didn't really hit me. Like, it didn't hit me that, hey, my house just burnt down. Like, and it was over something so small. My mom custom makes Yeti cups, and she puts epoxy on them to seal them up. And when the epoxy sets, it has to rotate on a turner for 24 hours. Well, we had two living rooms. We had one right when you walked in the front door, and then we had one next to the kitchen. And the kitchen was like, I guess you could say, the game room / her craft room. And there was a table right behind our couch, and the turner was set up right against the couch. And one of the turners got too hot and caught on fire.
Jeez.
And it hit, and the couch caught on fire, and then it hit the I don't know what it's called, but it's that flame that's always burning on a gas fireplace. It hit that.
Yeah.
and when it hit that flame, the fireplace blew up, and then we had wooden bookshelves, and then those started to catch on fire. Then the drywall caught on fire, and then it proceeded from there to the kitchen.
Was your mom home, or like any family home when it happened?
No, she was actually, she had been gone for 10 minutes. She was on her way to come meet us in Benton, to meet at the halfway point. And she looked in her rear view mirror and saw black smoke. So, and then she was like, that could be the house. So she turned around, and my neighbor actually ran across my house, grabbed my dog, my 80-pound dog, by the scruff of the neck, tossed him off of the porch to get him out of the house, and then our two smaller dogs. Yeah,
that's crazy. See, I can relate to you a little bit on that, because about 6 or 7 years ago, we also had a house fire.
Yeah.
Luckily, no one was home, but we did have dogs. But luckily, they're okay. Well, the dogs are okay. Yeah. There was no one home, but it didn't burn our house completely down, but enough to like we couldn't live in it, so we had to like redo all the inside. So I can relate to you a little bit on that. It's a terrible thing. It really is.
Yeah, it really was. It was. I'll go into that later, but yeah.
I think it's pretty interesting how like you hear about all these terrible scenarios, and then like there's always like some little bit of like luck and like little bit of chance. Like if your mom was still in that house when it happened, like I don't know if you guys have a fire extinguisher in your house. I don't know, but I feel like a fire would be really hard to put out, especially because it sounds like it's just spread like instantaneously. Like it wasn't like a
not to mention all the reaction, like, oh crap, what am I supposed to do? You know, all that stuff going through your head.
If you think about it, it was a time span of 10 minutes from when the Turner caught fire, and then the couch caught fire, and the house exploded.
And that's just insane. And like, quick thinking on your neighbor's part for grabbing the dog.
Yeah. The whole time my main concern was my dog. Because,
right. Yeah.
And unfortunately, I don't have my dog anymore, and I'll get to that later. But yeah.
Okay.
So, any other questions?
So.
Yeah.
we got a lot.
Okay.
So you transitioned from living in a house, and then you ended up staying in a hotel, correct?
Yeah.
And you were living in there with your dog, because I came and I visited you.
Yeah,
and
we did.
The doggo was the best, amazing.
Yeah.
But how weird was the transition into moving into the hotel?
How do I explain this? Because it's gonna be really confusing on your guys' end, but for me and experiencing it just kind of made sense.
Yeah.
Saying that it was normal, it just felt normal. It felt like something somebody does every day. If that makes any sense at all. Like,
it just kind of felt like the next best step.
Yeah.
Because like obviously you can't live in your house.
I think I get where you're coming from.
I understand it. Yeah.
Because we actually lived, while we were working on our house, we had borrowed a camper, a self-contained camper, and we lived in a camper for maybe 2 or 3 months, maybe. And I guess I get why you say it's normal. It's just,
it's like a well factor.
Yeah. It's like you don't have a choice, so you just gotta do it.
But it could be different. It could be different from your story, because then again, like, we just had to renovate the house. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Now living by myself in a hotel room was freaking awesome. It was the best thing ever. I kept it cold in there. I had my TV, I had my Xbox, and I had all my friends come over. Like, it was awesome, and I had my dog with me.
Well, there you go.
You were chilling, dude.
Yeah. And my parents were on the floor above me. I had a 2-bed room. It had 2 beds in it. And I slept in one bed, and then my dog either would sleep on the other, or he would sleep on the bed with me. And that's about it. Like, I had a decent sized room all to myself.
You got
So,
like a chunk of adulthood before adulthood, like
Yeah,
living by yourself.
actually, I've had a chunk of adulthood. If my family sees this, they're probably going to be upset. But there was a while I was raising myself, even with like parental figures and parents around. There was one time where I had to sit down at a very young age, younger than most, and I had to sit down and I had to figure out what I was going to do with my life and how I was going to live it, the plans I had for my future. And surprisingly enough, the military wasn't one of those.
But you're doing the military now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Huh. So why'd you choose the military?
College.
For college? What do you want
Yeah.
to major in, or like where are you thinking of going?
You know, since it's the Illinois National Guard, it pays for any college in Illinois.
Any.
Like full ride, like it pays for every semester. It pays for your books. It pays for your housing.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
There's a lot of benefits, and I'm not a recruiter, but I'm a walking advertisement, basically.
Right,
And that's
right.
okay, because the more people that you get to enlist under you, you get pretty cool things, and you get to experience a lot of cool things. So, but
So-
yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna reiterate like what major or like what's your end goal occupation?
My end goal occupation. You know, I'm not really sure. I have lots of things I want to do, from building cars to owning a business.
And you're
like-
young, so you
Yeah.
have plenty of time to figure that stuff
Yeah.
out. You have
Yeah.
plenty of time.
You can always just combine them and like create your own mechanic shop, you know?
Yeah.
Open up somewhere. do
Yeah, I
something.
was just having a conversation with my friend. We have a project planned out for when I get out of the military that's going to make us pretty famous.
Ooh.
Yeah.
We will.
And I'm not going to go into, that's all I'm going to say.
Right.
We are going to be very well known in the automotive industry.
So are you telling us to stay tuned?
Stay tuned for the next 10 years of my life. That's all I'm going to say.
So, I understand a lot of our listeners are younger and either need a first car or a new car. There are two amazing companies that can help you out with that. The first is Foursquare. They offer amazing services, incentives, and trade-ins. You can get a brand new car or buy a used one. Aside from Foursquare, there's another superb company, King City Chrysler. At King City Chrysler, you can purchase a car, truck, or Jeep. Both of these companies sell their respective cars, but I can assure you that they are fantastic. You can find both car lots in downtown Mount Vernon by Zadok Casey Middle School and the YMCA. A huge thank you for the gracious sponsor. If anyone else is interested in sponsoring, then instant message the Dorm Project on Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah.
So, what is like the major thing you've learned about like not only like the house fire and stuff, but like even like the military or your decision to choose the military?
What made me choose the military, or
What's like the biggest lesson you've learned out of?
Oh,
Because choosing the military by itself is still a hard task, and I feel like people
Yeah.
don't realize that. But like,
Yeah.
someone consciously making the decision that, hey, I'm gonna sign my life up for 4 years, and I'm going to
6.
is it 6 for you?
Yeah, it's a total of 8, but for being in uniform it's 6. But continue.
But it's like I'm gonna sign myself up for 6 years, and I'm gonna like defend my country, and then you also
So-
like put yourself up to being like ridiculed by people who like don't like the country and stuff like that. Like you kind of like you're vulnerable, yet you can defend yourself. Like even though you can defend yourself, you're still vulnerable, if that makes sense.
Yeah. My biggest lesson I've learned throughout life, and up until literally as I'm talking to you guys on this, is learning to not care. And that sounds bad, but with the house fire, I learned to not care because it happened. You can't do anything about it. You gotta move on.
Right.
For sure. No, I agree with that 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. And with also past relationships, it happened. learn to not care, move on.
See, I'm
Like-
currently dealing with that.
Me too.
But that's a different story. That's a different
Yeah,
story.
yeah, that's a totally different story. But my biggest thing was just learning not to care.
It's hard. It's really hard. It may seem really easy, but it's very difficult.
It is really hard. But when you do that, when you put yourself in that mindset, nothing can really hurt you, I guess you could say. Now, don't get me wrong.
Right.
You could still, like, there could be some emotional trauma that could still happen.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
You have to put yourself back in that mindset. Because the way I see something, if you sit there and if you dwell on something for days, weeks, months, years, you're just gonna put yourself in this dark hole that you can't get yourself out of.
Let alone you're wasting all that time on something that's already happened.
Yeah,
You can't even do anything about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Colin, you had a phrase that you told me. It's accept what you can't change,
And change what you can accept. I
Yeah.
forgot who said that originally, but
You told me that, and that's been stuck in my head for
Yeah,
a while now, and it's really been helping me out.
I forgot
honestly.
who said it originally, but it's decently well known. But it's just like, it's if you can't change it, don't worry about it. And if you really can't live with it, like if there's something that you just can't live with, that's just irking you all the time, then like, by golly, you gotta like go out, you gotta figure out how to fix it, and you gotta just change it.
Yeah, and that goes for everything too. Like, I've been hitting the gym more. Like, I feel like I could lose some weight, and I want to, so I'm going to the gym more.
Yeah, you're gonna do it.
Right.
Just like towards the beginning, somebody says you can't do something, be like, hey, watch me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
And some people think that's self-conceited, but I think it's like it's literally your life. I mean,
Yeah.
you gotta do what
Yeah.
you gotta do. You know what I mean?
Like at the end of the
yeah.
day, you want to get as healthy as possible just for you, just so you don't feel like a piece of crap, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Like, no one wants to walk upstairs and feel out of breath. So like,
Exactly.
like I've done that like a couple times. I've like, it's been like I used to not work out at all, and I'd like walk upstairs and I'd be like, why are there so many
Yeah.
stairs? But I got to a point where I was like, okay, you should probably not be out of breath by this.
Yeah. Seriously.
The stairs at Mount Vernon High School are what got me in shape.
We have a lot of stairs.
I can vouch for that.
We have a
Yeah.
lot of stairs. So, have you considered public speaking at all? Like, you know, you since you came on, you're very well spoken, and you can construct sentences pretty well. So have you thought about like, you know, like booking small gigs or like talking to people, kind of being like a consultant or a public speaker? Motivation.
Actually, no, because, and I appreciate you saying that, because usually I ramble and I make no sense. And it's taking a lot of self-control for me to keep my words correct and my sentences structured properly,
Right.
and not stutter or slur my speech, because I have a bad habit of that.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I have not taken into consideration public speaking. I guess if I could, I guess I could want to.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I wanted to, I could. It just
Right.
take a lot of self-control.
Yeah.
You got a good voice for it.
Yeah, you do have a
appreciate
very
it.
good voice for it. You have the deep tone.
There
Very
was the speech lady at Mount Vernon. I don't remember her name.
Miss Maxie.
Yeah, I was talking in her class one day, and she stopped like completely. She said, "Who is talking?" And I'm like, "Oh God." And I raised my hand. I said, "I was. I'm sorry." She said, "You need to try out for the speech team." I said, "Oh." I said, "Oh." I mean, okay.
So you did speech?
No, I thought about it, but
No,
then I kind of moved.
You guys already know about Ford Square and King City Chrysler. Well, we have a new sponsor who is a graduate of Mount Vernon Township High School and wants to be your choice of salesman for your next vehicle. If you refer your friends to Ryan Schmidt, and if they purchase a vehicle from Ryan Schmidt, you will get $150. We can't make this up. If you're interested, then you can call or text Mr. Schmidt at 618-237-2611. Once again, that's 618-237-2611. Or you can message him on Facebook anytime at Schmidt Sells Cars.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're getting close to the end of the time, so.
Okay, I got a question.
Okay. You go.
All right, this is a really hard question. Okay.
Okay.
I need you to think on it. All right. All right, ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
What is your favorite color?
I'm colorblind, guy.
Are you serious?
Brian?
Yeah.
No way. I'm sorry. I retract that statement.
No,
I retract
sorry.
that question.
No.
Purple,
Yellow.
I think, or is it blue or green?
No, but yellow. Yellow is my favorite color because it's the most vibrant to my
Yes.
vision.
Yes.
So-
Well, see, I'm a little bit colorblind too.
I'm a yellow guy myself.
I'm a red and green.
Yeah, me
colorblind.
too.
So, like,
Yeah, Dutan. Yeah.
Yeah,
Except
yeah.
Mine's major.
Mine's
is horrible.
minor. Mine's a little bit.
Yeah.
It's not bad, but I mean,
You can literally stick a red crayon and a green crayon next to each other, like side by side, and I wouldn't be able to tell the difference. They had to be spaced out.
Oh my
really
gosh.
Yeah.
crazy.
That's,
All right, that was my question, by the way.
Okay.
That's fine.
here's
Cool.
here's the final question. All right.
Okay.
Do you feel as though you've already encountered like the worst scenario,
No.
or do you think that there's a bigger one still out there?
There's definitely a bigger one still out there for me. Like for me personally, like I
Yeah.
still have a lot more to experience, and I've already experienced so much.
Right.
So, I do believe something is coming for me. I just don't know when.
Right. What's your
That's when you prepare for it.
what's your advice to people going through stuff like that?
What's my advice? That's a good question. I wouldn't say I have advice because somebody could be going through something similar to me or completely different and
Right.
cope with it a totally different way.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, like people that believe in God, they have God, they have church and they have their religion,
Yeah.
or somebody, they have like a side hustle who's like making money, focusing on something that gets them out of whatever they're in.
Right.
Like there's endless possibilities, but I wouldn't say do what I did and learn not to care,
Right.
because learning not to care helped me. It helped my heart and it helped my mental state. Even though that sounds bad, it actually did. It helped me a lot.
Yeah. And I don't.
Yeah.
I feel like
understand
it's not like a fully like don't care about anything. It's just like
Yeah.
if you can't change it, then
that. Like
don't
the
worry.
minor inconveniences that people tend to care about more. If
Yeah,
that makes sense.
like yeah. Like, oh, I crashed my car. I need to make a request for more hours and work my butt off to buy a new one.
Yeah.
Like, you
Just
need to
adapt.
work for what you want.
Overcome.
Yeah,
adapt.
adapt.
And overcome.
Improvise, adapt, overcome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's all I have. Even though I didn't fully answer the question. Just don't.
Hey, you did. Hey, as long as you tried, you did.
Yep.
Okay. Cool.
All right. So, well, thank you, Noah, for being on our episode tonight. We really appreciate your time and
Thank you.
your story, sharing your story.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate it. I appreciate you guys having me come on, and I
course.
appreciate Colin reaching out to me.
Yes,
So-
sir.
All right.
We're here to help.
I appreciate it. I
Of
really do.
course. Of course.
Mhm.
All right, guys, that'll do it for this episode. I guess we'll see you next time. Peace.
See ya. A huge thank you to ArtStarts, who has graciously sponsored the dorm project. They offer many things. For starters, ArtStarts offers summer camps, shows, and trips to theater festivals. They perform 2 shows a year. Their production of The Lion King Jr. premiere date will be released at a later date due to the pandemic. You can purchase tickets at the door or online. Check out ArtStarts on Facebook for more information.